All right, folks, time to shine juice this hood. You'll see here in this corner, I already did a bit of a test with it a couple of months ago. You can kind of see the difference in the paint. Just wanted to kind of check it out, make sure I was going to be happy with it before I did the whole hood. But today's the day. We're going to go ahead and knock out this whole hood with shine juice and hope for some good protection in the future. Give you an idea of the rest of the truck. The rest of the truck's really not that bad. It's just the hood, 47 years of southwestern sun beating down on this thing, along with occasional hailstorms and neighborhood cats crawling up on it to keep warm in the winter. I mean, the hood's really got it worse than anything else. You can see a lot of flaking going on here. Honestly, I've had this truck since 2008. I stopped washing it about 5 years ago because the drying rag I was using was just turning the same color as the truck. I didn't want to lose any of that any more than it already was. So what you're seeing here is a lot of accumulation of dirt plus just time and wear on the hood. So basically I'm just going to start scrubbing it down with some ultra-fine scrubby pad, 3M, the gray 3M scrubby pad is the ultra-fine one, I think, and hot soapy water. Just going to go through and knock off all the crud and loose paint chips and any of the more superficial rust. You're going to see this hood really transform between when I started and when I wash it down. There was a lot just sitting on there. I'm really not using much pressure at all. I'm just using the weight of my hand for the most part and then digging in a little more on some of the crustier areas. You'll notice I'm doing this. It's about 7 in the morning right now. I'm doing it before the sun really hits the truck. It's about probably 75 degrees. I wanted to do it in shade. I'll kind of go into that a little more. The curing time on this thing is a large part of why I'm doing this video. It's not really as clear cut as you might expect from the directions in this. And I'll show you the directions here in a little bit. But yeah, I'm just doing this all while it's still nice and cool. And when I apply this, I have a little more time to just kind of deal with it. Shine juice in general, I mean, I enjoy Vice Grip Garage. I enjoy the channel. Derek seems like a stand-up kind of guy. Uh, it's still not something I normally would have considered purchasing, but my girlfriend likes to ride around in the truck, especially in the spring and fall months, and go visit some of the wineries in the wine country around here. And she loves the color of the truck and was kind of lamenting the state of the paint. So, it got more in my head about possibly trying to preserve whatever was left. I still wouldn't have normally bought something like Shine Juice, but of course, every now and then Derek has a little giveaway of some sort. And in this case, it was for that red Camaro or $80,000. And I was all about, I could have definitely used that $80,000. And you can't win if you don't play. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought the Shine Juice. Shine Juice was around $50. There's a lot of free shipping on his website, but Shine Juice does not get free shipping. I think because it's a chemical and there's just a higher cost involved in shipping chemicals anyway. So don't expect the free shipping if and when you buy it. So all told, I think I was in for about $70 on this. And I think it's going to be a good purchase, especially since I'm not doing the whole truck. I'm just going to keep redoing this hood every 3 or 4 months. It's going to last quite a while. And then maybe someday, if I have the money and the space and some place where I can put the truck up in an actual garage for a while, I might actually do some sort of permanent clear coat. But it is what it is for the time being. So I'm just finishing up the scrubbing here. Then you'll see this hood transform as soon as I start spraying it down. Me and this truck are actually about the same age. It's 78, so it's 47 years old, roundabouts. I'm 47. You can tell I'm 47 because I obviously turned 18 in the 90s, hence the tribal armband tattoo. My army buddy and I went and got similar stuff like that back in 96, back in the day. All right, we're about finished here. I'll speed it up a little bit and then we'll get on to the next phase. Gonna wash down this hood. And you see the color change here, man. So much of that paint came off. Kind of sad to see it go, but at the same time, what we've got left is pretty cool looking patina, really. I guess now this would be officially called a patina sort of paint job, even though it's all original. This is what we're going to have to work with. This is our canvas for the Shine Juice. Go ahead and speed this up. I was really just washing it down. You're not going to see me take a chamois to it, but I do, just to get most of the water off, and then I let it air dry for a while. And then we'll come back and revisit it just while it's drying. All right, here's a bit of a closer look at the status of the hood now. It's still sort of drying, but I just wanted to give you a look. The only real high spots still are these little brown areas. Not really sure what they even are. I don't think it's rust, maybe some sort of primer. But other than that, I like this pattern right here. That turned out real cool. I like the tortoiseshell style pattern. But other than that, the whole hood's pretty smooth now. I think that was the whole point. Try and get it as smooth as it can be. Each sort of layer that you're seeing here is going to sort of take the Shine Juice a little differently. There's that side of the truck for a look. And the browner spots are going to soak it up a bit differently. If any of you has an idea of what those brown spots are, I guess it could just be more of an active style rust, but it didn't really seem like it, and it was going to take something more than just the Brillo pad to get that off. So it just is what it is. Now while we're waiting for it to dry, let's give you a peek under the petticoat, see what the old girl has. Like I said, I've had it since 2008. I bought it from a farm not too far from me. So it is an original farm truck. I'm just a second owner. There's a 7.5 460. All original, never been cracked open. When I say all original, I mean it's the original motor. But when I bought it, it was running on propane. And I left it on propane for a while until the propane refill place near me shut down. And the next closest one is too far away. So I had to rebuild the entire gasoline delivery system. So you can see the Edelbrock carb there. All new fuel lines, all made by myself. But other than the fuel lines and the wiring for the ignition I redid for the coil and the distributor, and then a fuel pump, or I'm sorry, a water pump and the fuel pump. But other than that, it hasn't really been messed with much, just regular maintenance. There's a little ammo can I installed as like a little toolbox for the other old battery tray. This thing had a spot for 2 batteries. Don't need it, so there's my oil checking rag. Doesn't use any oil. I even run full synthetic in it and loves it. Doesn't use a drop. And then we'll have a look on the interior here. Interior is all original also, other than the gauge cluster. The gauge cluster, the original gauge clusters on these trucks is like the weakest link, man. I mean, they're all just stupid idiot lights, plus they're, as they age, they get real brittle and plasticky, so they literally just fall apart inside the dash. So I went ahead and made my own gauge cluster with odometer gauges. But other than that, all original. Headliner's still good. Surprising here in the desert Southwest. And like I said, this was a farm truck, so in the bed here you can see where there was a gooseneck hitch. It was a big old thick diamond plate with a gooseneck hitch on it. I pulled that out because it's just a runner for Home Depot and the dump nowadays. You can see where the old propane tank used to be. But that's it. Pretty solid for an old 47-year-old truck. Don't have any problems out of it, really. They don't make them like this anymore, that's for sure. All right, so let's have a look at the directions for this shine juice stuff. You'll see it says apply shine juice to panel, wiping on evenly, allow 20 to 30 minutes to dry, wipe off excess. There should be another instruction there saying that curing time, at least in my experience, is actually about 2 days. You see it comes with some rags too, like some cut up old t-shirts. The yellow on them was from when I applied the test panel. It's not like they were already stained. Here's this shine juice bottle. You're gonna see that it says that it's packaged by Poppy's Patina. So I assume I know other people have assumed some similarity between shine juice and Poppy's Patina. So there's probably got to be some sort of similarity in the formula, given that Poppy's is packaging this for Vice Grip, but who's to say what the real differences are? But yeah, I mean, the only instructions are actually on that piece of paper. All of that is just chemical warnings and stuff like that. So let's get this puppy going. Time to shine it up. So you see, I am gonna wipe it on very thinly. That way I don't have to go back over it. The thing that I noticed, and what you'll see as this video goes on and I kind of give you different shots of it at different times, is that uh, it does take a while to cure. What's interesting is it says allow 20 to 30 minutes to dry and then wipe off any excess. What happens with the test panel and what's going to happen with the whole hood here is that it will dry in about 20 to 30 minutes. Um, and I didn't need to really wipe off any excess then. But then as the sun came out um, and the hood heated back up, the shine juice kind of turned back liquidy again and got real tacky. And it stayed tacky for about a day, about 36 hours in total. And that's going to happen here too. So my goal with this was to apply it as thinly as possible so I didn't have any excess just sticking out anywhere, and then just like leave it alone. Because when it got tacky on the test panel, the test corner there, I did, just out of curiosity, go back over it with the rag, and really it just created some smears and it pulled up some of the fabric from the rag. So when it's in tacky phase, I wouldn't recommend touching it. Um, as far as what this stuff is made of, I'm obviously I don't know for sure, but I'm relatively certain that there is some linseed oil in this. It smells a lot like linseed oil. I'll be honest, I haven't smelled linseed oil in decades, but I used to be in high school. I was back when in high school when kids could be trusted with firearms. I was on the marksmanship team in ROTC, and every so often, about every month, our coach would make us apply a new coat of linseed oil to the stocks on our rifles, and that smell, man, with the newly polished rifle stock pressed up against my cheek for hours at a time, that smell is burned into my mind. So I am relatively confident there's linseed oil in this, which doesn't really surprise me because I think Derek, even one of his older videos, he does an entire car just with linseed oil. So this is probably linseed oil cut with some other mineral spirits and other chemicals. And you're going to kind of get an idea of why, another reason why I think it's linseed oil is that there's bugs in this video a little later that really seem to take a liking to whatever this stuff actually is. So yeah, I'm just applying it on real thin, kind of going back through and looking at it from different angles to see if there are any spots where I missed. And then just going back over it. And then I'm just going to leave it alone, and we'll check in on how the stuff is actually curing over time. So let's speed it up, and then I will get you back into this once it's sat for a little while. You can see where we're at. Okay, so it's about 9:30 in the morning now. So it's been about an hour, hour and a half since I applied it. And right now it is in its dry phase. You can see there I'm kind of just hovering my hand over the hood to get an idea of any streaks that might be there, just the general state of it. Looks pretty good to me. Looks pretty good, looks pretty even. You can see it does look wet. You can see the reflection of the side view mirror in there too. You can see the color difference between what was done and what wasn't. The Shine Juice really does make the color pop, that's for sure. It's very cool. You can see how the different layers kind of soak it up differently as you get that side shot. But okay, that's it for now. We'll check back in a little bit more time. Okay, here we are again. It's about 11:30 now, late morning. And the Shine Juice has really kind of come back to life. You can see how it looks even wetter than it did before, and that's because it has officially entered the tacky stage where it's kind of remelted. You can see I'm gonna just test it right here, and you see my fingerprints real obvious there. So that's a large reason why I wanted to just kind of point this out, is because I don't think it's drivable right now. If I were to try and drive it right now, I mean, all kinds of any bugs or leaves that I drove through, we'd probably get stuck to it. So my goal, like I said before, is just to leave it alone. Okay, and here we are. It's now about 3 in the afternoon, so mid-afternoon. It's really hard to tell probably through the camera, but there's literally about 100 little flying, I don't know if they're white flies or gnats or whatever, some sort of little creature is flying around just over the hood. I have no clue where they came from, but they're obviously attracted to the off-gassing of whatever's going on with the Shine Juice, probably getting high. Luckily, they're not trying to land on the hood. They're not getting stuck in it or anything. The hood is slowly starting to cure. You'll see it's not quite, doesn't leave quite as big a mark there when I press into it, but it is still sort of wet. So we'll give it more time. And here we are a day later. It's the next day, mid-afternoon again. So it's been about 24 to 30 hours since I applied it. Stray cat there. There's still a couple of bugs flying around it, but nothing like the 100 that were there yesterday. And you can see it's dry now to the touch. So I'd say at this point it's probably drivable, and you wouldn't have to worry about things getting stuck on it. It still looks wet. There's still quite a bit of shine on there. I would say it's still curing to some degree. It is going to keep doling down just a little bit. I'm going to check back in with it and show you a couple of weeks. Okay, so it's been 2 weeks since I applied it here, and this is the end result. I would say this is about the finished result once all is said and done. A couple of minor rain showers, just some sprinkles, so not a whole lot of rain involved in this. So this is just regular curing time. It's dry now to the touch, completely dry. Obviously more of a satin finish. The sun does still kind of shine on it, but it's not as sharp as it was earlier. Much more even looking now. I'll take you around to the side. You can really see there's the untreated paint is really just completely flat compared to the hood. But I'd say the hood has a good, just, as advertised, satin sort of finish. So that's it. Just wanted to give you a kind of rundown of my experience with the Shine Juice. Your experience with it may vary, I guess, depending on your environment and the climate that you're applying it in, indoors versus outdoors, things like that. Yeah, but I think the final look of it works for me. It's not overly shiny. I think it would obviously the entire truck would look better if I did the whole truck, but I'm not quite ready for that yet. But I am curious as to how long it'll last. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Like I said, I'm probably just going to reapply it every 3 months or so, and hope that it maintains its protection. But if you have any sort of, your own experience with it already, then feel free to leave a comment and let me know how it worked out for you. All right, I appreciate your time. Thank you.